Welcome to Uncaged, a show celebrating thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the world of commerce tomorrow. I'm really pleased that we have Dave Rosner on the show today. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Hi, Ben. Thrilled to be here.
Great. So Dave is the head of marketing and media at Collab. Collab is one of the most exciting companies out there doing all of this wonderful content creation, digital content network in the TikTok and YouTube universe. And Dave will take us through what they're doing in that space, which is sucking up all the free hours I have in my day, and it seems like the rest of the world at the same time. But I'd love to talk to you, Dave, about really how you got where you are, and you're working with such an incredible company and how you guys are changing things. But let's start out with you telling us a little bit about yourself and your background and your career to date.
Sure. I actually started out my career in a very different way. I was a full-time musician touring, playing bass. I was a born and raised New Yorker. And when I came back to New York after that experience, I got into advertising. And this is back when advertising and TV advertising was at the center of the marketing universe. I did that for 5 or 6 years and got and really fell in love with the brand building that was happening at my clients like Diageo and Kellogg. But was also feeling like the world was changing. And then I took a step back after a really amazing run for 6 years on the creative side and got my MBA, and then came out and the media advertising business had gone through what was becoming the change that I think has impacted everybody, which was the world was going digital. And so I ended up going from the creative side to the media side in a group called Innovations, which was focused on the fact that the world was changing and becoming digital, and how were brands and marketers going to handle it? Because up until fairly recently, there hadn't been a lot of change. It was TV, it was print, it was outdoor, it was radio, and mostly it was about negotiating bigger, better ideas, not having to negotiate new stuff coming in, new stuff like the internet, new stuff like video, new stuff like Facebook, new stuff like YouTube, all the things that we see, and the fact that things were changing. So I had an incredible experience there, being on the front lines of a team that was looking at what was new and figuring out what it meant, and then doing the first of kind deals. So we did the first of kind deals with Facebook. We did first of kind deals with YouTube. We did first of kind deals with mobile, all the things that now are substantive. And that was an amazing 8-year run. It's incredible to think of that. And that's when, for our listeners, that's when I met Ben. So we got to meet, which was another one of the highlights.
Honestly, Dave, I mean, you're being extremely modest. The work that team did is really kind of groundbreaking in the media marketing space. I remember you guys doing all that work with America Online, AOL back in the day, and the show that you did when Mad Men broke, the newspaper cover, all those amazing things. So an incredible run on innovation and digital there.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And I think what we tried to do is understand that when there's change, there's an opportunity for brands and marketers to read the change and move quickly and do programs that are way below market value that can have an impact on the future of their relationships with consumers for years and years and years to come. So that could be rethinking how we launched Mad Men. That could be bringing a new life into AOL and finding a way to tell part of their story in a way where the tools we were using would get people excited. And when you get people excited, that forces a reconsideration. And you know, there's so many ways to do that even now. So I definitely got the bug for seeing what was new and trying to be a part of it and figure out what's the bigger application. And so after my time there, I went over and started working on the marketing side for some of these companies that were driving change. And you know, the first one was a company called Zephyr. And Zephyr is a media technology company, and their what was magical about them and still is they could look at all the content on YouTube and understand what was happening. So they could tell you how many videos are about Oreos, even if Oreo could only see, let's say, 200 million. They could see the other 800 million and said, actually, there's a cupcake video somewhere that has a bigger impact than everything you've done on paid media. What are you gonna do about it? And then we figured out what to do about it. So that was really exciting and brought context into the video business. On a total side note, I think context is a really nice thing as we go forward and talk about privacy, because one of the things that I'm a big champion of is you don't need someone's personal information to understand what they're interested in. So you don't have to be creepy. If you're looking at a video on YouTube and it's about surfing, I don't need to know your life history and what your logins are and what your browser history is to know that you're into surfing. I can serve you up something that makes sense if you're a surfer, or if you're a surfer and I know other products you'd be interested in. So I think we can think through some of these challenging issues. Most recently, and now I'm running marketing and media for a company called Collab. And Collab is, again, one of these companies that is just driving incredible change in the industry. Started by three brothers who were YouTube content creators and really knew how hard it was, and created a company for creators to help them do what they love, which is make content, so they could quit their soul-sucking day jobs, which is probably cleaning salad dressing vats, true story, or washing dishes, true story. And it's this combination that we've put together of an eye for talent and a lot of technology to monetize that talent. And today, we're one of the top 10 largest providers of content onto YouTube. We're the biggest content creator network on TikTok, and we've been a part of over 60 brand activations and have been leading the pack on understanding how TikTok works for marketers. And we work with this incredible group of creators that's growing on helping them do what they love for a living.
That's great. I've seen so many amazing projects that Collab and you have been involved in over the last couple of years. What excited you initially to join Collab?
Yeah, you know, coming from the media and marketing space, you're always asking the first question when you see something new. How big is it? What's the scale? Is this something that I'm going to learn about and be super smart for when it's big time? Or is this something that I can reach my consumers now and I should be thinking about strategically? Usually, most new things are in that first bucket. You're like, this is really incredible. This is great. I better learn how to do mobile geo-positioning because someday that's going to be on everybody's phone. Now it is, before it wasn't. Right. When I met Collab, what really I think was a shock was how scaled they had become without ever being on the radar of the media and marketing landscape. And that's because they weren't built around scaling and getting to brands. They were built around creating the best content and helping these digital stars grow. In doing that, they had become this giant media property. And so what got me excited was to be able to see what they had built and understand the value that that has for Collab as a company and for partners. But to be the first one from really the media marketing industry to see that potential there of something that was already built, but untapped. That's what got me really excited. And that was, you know, that was when we were really huge on YouTube and before all of this additional activity started happening with TikTok, which is, you know, which has been its own roller coaster.
So, I mean, I've seen the growth of Collab, and certainly I have my opinions on the extreme value in my mind of the work that companies like yours do, as well as the celebrities that you guys have helped create. I mean, I remember you presenting at I think at Adweek, the David Dobrik Chipotle work, which is just phenomenal. But you know, why is it what you guys are doing right now? Why is that so important for business today?
Because the life of the younger consumer and what is important to the younger consumer in terms of content has dramatically shifted. And it's shifted faster than the people who are trying to reach them understand. So today, the most watched content type for younger consumers is digital first. So if you are thinking, how do I take my TV success and bring it in? You're already starting on the wrong base. You're already making strategies that don't have to do with how this consumer has grown up, who to them are the biggest celebrities. If you ask children today what they want to be when they grow up, it's not what I would have answered, which was rock star, which I tried and that didn't work out. It's a YouTube content creator, an influencer. Those are the top things. Those are the roles and the creative lifestyles that are most in touch. And so the thing for marketers and brands to keep in mind is, okay, great. If this is where the deepest emotional connections are, if this is where my audience's aspirations are, how do I become part of that conversation? How does that become the beginning? Because in 5 or 10 years, even more of the buying power that you're going to be depending on to be a successful business will be shifting into that age group.
Yeah, I think, you're absolutely right. It's driving culture. And David, I tell you to not give up on your rock star dreams. I saw that driver's license song got something like 20 million, downloads on TikTok. So maybe we can give your rock star career a rebirth. But moving on, when you think about the work that you're doing, it seems so obvious to me that it's a driver for culture. It's a place where really any type of brand or marketer should be playing in if they want to actually be relevant. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you guys are facing as a business?
For us, one of the biggest challenges is really scaling to get to connect with the right brands and agencies. So we have this incredible reach. We're doing about 25 billion views every month across all of our platforms. So this is a very well watched body of content, but we're also very new to talking to brands and agencies. So as someone who's been on the buy side, what I see is the number one is, as we are developing more and more of these relationships with the people that can see the value. So I think that's number one. It's just our growth phase and who we're talking to and the kind of deals we do. Because, when we have started making some great inroads with big clients like Chipotle, like Frito-Lay, with some recent Doritos campaign we just wrapped on YouTube, we're seeing these incredible programs that bring all of these insights to life. So I think that's one of them. I think the other one for us, and it's been more of a spark than a challenge, is TikTok. So we were all in on TikTok from the beginning. One of the places where we found a lot of the core creators that became the original Collab network was on Vine. If anyone remembers, there was a 6-second video platform called Vine, and we were very quick to find talent there and bring them over to YouTube. And some of that talent is now some of the biggest talent in the world, like David Dobrik. So what we're seeing is this huge jump in TikTok. And we have been 100% focused on it because it felt a lot like we knew the playbook because we had seen it with Vine. We knew how to think about how to translate the platform for brands. We knew how to help creators build their careers. And so for us, it's been this big spark, but I still think that, there's a lot of questions around the platform. And so for us, it's only been upside, but I think for brands, they should be watching that more carefully and probably moving faster.
As this world evolves, this social creation, this content creation, and as companies like yours, Collab, help these creators really reach broad audiences and the right audiences. What's your hope as you go forward? What's your hope for the future of this industry and what you guys are working on?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. My hope for this industry is that as we mature, that the value that we've been delivering with huge global brands for years now, brands like Nike, and we mentioned Chipotle, and I think we worked with over 100 brands last year, that they start to understand that the way to connect with consumers en masse is through these digital platforms and building these programs that look and feel a little different maybe than what's happened traditionally, but go right into the heart of their consumer, and consumers really appreciate that. So I think that's going to be one piece of it. The other piece of this is, and I'm just incredibly excited, is about this growth of TikTok. And I'll tell you why. There's two reasons. One is it's always just great to see something new. I think we were kind of in between that for a long time. I mean, I had those 8 years in my career where everything was always new. And that's when you and I worked together. And that's when you were the big proponent of Facebook and helped early investment. So we lived in a time where new was happening all the time. And then some of those new players became very, very established. Almost all the digital dollars in the industry go to a couple of players. And so new wasn't so big. And so to see something that is really new and the consumer adoption growing, and that's being TikTok, and to understand not only is TikTok new and driving all these great moments and helping us through a lack of new production in the world and bringing joy and bringing new ways to connect. But it also is evolving an entire ecosystem of companies that are going to be all about this new experience. And that is a new community that's that a lot of people don't think about, which is there's this core company that's providing the core experience. And then there are going to be a lot of other interesting new things that come out of it. They're going to be people who are focused on how do we help raise money for charitable donation on TikTok? How do we help better sell there? What's the merchandising model look like? How am I better growing the careers of TikTokers? All of those things are going to be boutique industries. And so, yeah, I think that's going to be a huge win that sometimes gets overlooked because, TikTok is so exciting in and of itself.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. And congratulations, Dave, on Collab's new partnership as a strategic partner of TikTok. That's really cool and certainly right at the edge of where things are evolving with that space. Thank you so much for taking the time for joining us today on UNCAGED. We're really enjoying talking to amazing executives such as yourself and what you guys are working on. Tune in for our next show next week. But thank you so much, Dave. Dave Rosner, the EVP of Marketing and Media of Collab.
Thank you so much, Ben. I'll talk to you soon.